interrupt this program to bring you Courage, the Cowardly Dog Month.
Whole month of Courage, the Cowardly Dog. First appearing in 1996, it was picked up by Cartoon Network, who work in the middle of Burbank, and directed by cartoonist John Dilworth. Though many years have passed since the original air date, it's now time for Zack to celebrate this great show.
Well, old sport, what do you think? Neat. Hey guys, Zack Morris here, and welcome back to Courage Month. So, I've actually finished covering the entirety of Courage the Cowardly Dog, the original series, as well as the pilot, but there is indeed one last episode that was released in 2014, many years after the original Courage, but in any case, here's the thing about the series, about Courage the Cowardly Dog, is that they've actually tried to bring it back. So John Dilworth obviously has been in his Studio Stretch Films have been in contact with Cartoon Network for a while, and they have been trying to revive Courage the Cowardly Dog several times. They've just been trying to get in contact with Cartoon Network to actually make a new series, and currently they do have something floating around in the network called Before Courage, which is eventually going to get made. I'm not entirely sure when, but yeah, I'll definitely review that on the channel when and if it actually winds up being made. But in any case, John Dilworth and his team have actually been trying to revive Courage the Cowardly Dog, and it hasn't been. Emphasis on trying. They haven't really successfully done it yet. They've been trying, and long story short, the reason for that is that Cartoon Network just has a couple of other things that they're prioritizing. Cartoon Network has just been busy with running other shows, and the revival of Courage the Cowardly Dog, unfortunately, has just fallen to the bottom of the pile, and they may or may not revive it at some point in the future. I don't know if or when, but it'll eventually happen. But in any case, there have been several attempts. Obviously, the movie is the most recent one of these. I'll be perfectly honest, the movie is likely the most recent one of these to just kind of see if people actually still like Courage the Cowardly Dog and want to see it come back. But the first instance of an attempted revival that didn't wind up working out is actually this episode that I'm reviewing right now, The Fog of Courage, which is a 2014 animated special. And it released in Argentina, I think, and never actually released worldwide, although it is in English, and it actually didn't wind up airing anywhere else other than Argentina, but it is on YouTube, so I have linked it in the description if you want to actually watch the series for yourself and actually watch the episode. It is down in the description. Go nuts! But in any case, this episode is actually very significant in that. You remember back when I reviewed Hard Drive Courage, and I said there was this little one scene where they animated Courage in full CGI. Yeah, Fog of Courage is like that, only stretched out across an entire episode. So yeah, this episode is a full-on CGI remake of Courage the Cowardly Dog, and they were trying to make a full CGI series out of this, which didn't wind up working out as I mentioned, but this episode is just very important. But in any case, this episode actually opens up with Courage actually digging through the ground, and he actually comes across A, his plunger gun, and B, a necklace that says Cariana on it. So he winds up bringing it into his house to actually show people, at which point a giant fog-like hand actually reaches out of the hole, bellows Cariana, and tries to grab Courage, but fails because it's made of fog, and obviously that didn't wind up working. But in any case, Courage then proceeds to bring it into the house and actually show his owners. With Muriel actually currently working on dusting and asking Eustace for help, but Eustace isn't helping. And also, I should mention, Eustace's voice actor, he's changed again. So yeah, this time around, he's actually voiced by Wallace Shawn, who some of you may recognize that name from my my playthrough. He was a long time ago now. I'm thinking about it, Jesus. But my very old playthrough of King's Quest, the episodic one. Yeah, you might recognize. Wallace Shawn. He's actually the voice of Manny, and he actually voices Mananan in that series. So if you want to absolutely check it out and figure out what kind of character range he has, he plays Manny in that series. So go check out the playlist. I'll probably link it in the iCards or in the end screen or in the description or something. But in case, yeah, Wallace Shawn comes back to reprise the role of Eustace, and I kind of like this version of Eustace because, long story short, Wallace Shawn doesn't even bother trying to copy Eustace's voice from the original series. He didn't even try to copy Arthur Anderson's voice that he tried to do, and it works surprisingly well. I will just say that. So Wallace Shawn is surprisingly good as Eustace, and it is just really, really entertaining to watch. But in case, long story short, just talking about Eustace's voice acting again. But in case, Courage, after using his plunger gun, actually retrieved the photo that Muriel is trying to dust, which is revealed to be a photo of herself and Courage. Courage then proceeds to present her with the necklace, which she winds up putting on, remarking that it's pretty, and wonders where Courage got it. But Eustace actually winds up spying the necklace, and noting that it's made out of solid gold. Remarks that Courage actually wound up got it on his property, which means it's his, and then he proceeds to snatch it off Muriel's neck, and they bring it upstairs to the computer to appraise it, and figure out how much it's worth. And the computer does confirm Eustace's suspicions that it is indeed a priceless artifact and that it will go for a lot of money. But there is a caveat to that, which is that the computer then proceeds to respond that it is actually a curse between that caused a split between two lovers, or rather, or at least that's how I'm interpreting it. But in case it causes a split between two lovers, Carrie Anna and her lover Clyde, who is actually the main antagonist of the episode, I should mention. But in any case, he does remark that Clyde is actually, Carrie Ann and Clyde had a bit of a falling out, and the necklace is symbolic proof of that, and is the last thing that Clyde has of his lover. So if it's taken, a curse will befall on them that will actually separate whoever the offender from their lovers, from their loved ones, which Courage is freaked out about because it means he won't ever see Muriel again. But Eustace is couldn't care less, and he's just happy about the fact that he's rich, and remarks that he'll actually get new loved ones, and proceeds to leave and go and get in his truck. At which point, Courage proceeds to look out the window and watch him get into his truck, and it's at this point where we actually meet Clyde, and he is a giant fog spirit. So yeah, Clyde is actually his sole line throughout the episode is Carrie Anna. That is the only thing he says throughout the entire episode. And sure enough, he actually using his fog body. He actually tries to envelop Eustace's truck, and Eustace remarks that he doesn't want any, and tells him to get lost, and get off his property. But Courage merely comes out after seeing that Eustace is in danger and scoops him up and brings him back into the house and locks him in, while Clyde winds up eating the truck. Obviously, Clyde is made of fog, so the truck just goes right through him, but Clyde doesn't know that. Clyde just winds up eating the truck. But in case, he then proceeds to bring Eustace inside, and proceeds to tell Muriel what's going on, about how there's a giant fog spirit just causing problems, and that they need to return the necklace. That is the only word he winds up getting out edgewise throughout this entire episode. Everything else is gibberish, but as per usual, Courage the Cowardly Dog nonsense, because as I mentioned, he gets increasingly nonsensical and hard to understand the further into the series you go. So yeah, as an end result of that, he actually winds up telling Muriel to actually bring the necklace back, but Eustace is reluctant to do so, and then Muriel hears a knock on the door, and Courage freaks out because he knows it's Clyde, but Muriel really remarks that it could be someone who needs their help, and decides to actually open the door, at which point Clyde actually rushes into the house, and Eustace actually winds up running into the attic, remarking that he can't actually get in through the closed door, and just calls him a stupid fog. But in case Courage actually winds up getting separated from Muriel in the process, and is unable to find her, and he tries to actually, and he actually winds up, and as he's actually trying to find Muriel, he actually winds up bumping into the dresser because he can't see because there's fog everywhere, and the portrait of himself and Muriel actually winds up landing on him, and he picks it up and looks at it solemnly, and then the fog eats the picture, and he doesn't see it again. At which point he realizes he now needs to find Muriel since the fog spirit is doing a very good job of keeping him separated from Muriel. So he winds up poking his ear out of the fog and actually starts listening for her calls for him. Because obviously she's wandered off very far from where they were. And he proceeds to follow her upstairs to try and find her. And eventually he does wind up hearing her coming from the attic. But quickly realizes that Eustace has actually locked the door to the attic and he can't get in that way. So he actually winds up chewing a hole through the bottom of the door and winds up getting inside that way. With Eustace merely remarking that why can't a man be alone with his jewelry, which is a very funny thing for what I'm assuming is like an 80-year-old man to say. Just can't a man just be alone with his jewelry? It's funny as hell. But in any case, Courage then proceeds to pick up Eustace and actually proceed to carry him out of the attic because Clyde actually winds up pouring through the hole that Courage has made and actually continues to chase after them. So Courage has to go out the window and up on the roof with Eustace, which is where Muriel is actually revealed to be, and Courage actually starts hollering to her because she's on the other end of the roof. She's actually indeed on the roof and is dangerously close to walking off because she can't actually see, and she remarks that that the fog actually reminds her a little bit of the Highlands back home, which is as I said, she's Scottish, so obviously she makes a lot of Scottish references. But in any case, Courage then proceeds to continue hollering for Muriel, at which point Clyde actually shows up and rears his ugly head and demands to get his necklace back, more or less. But Eustace merely tells him to make an offer, at which point Clyde bellows smoke at them through his mouth, which then proceeds to surround Eustace and Courage, and they can't actually see where anything is. At which point Clyde proceeds to try and eat them again, quote unquote, eat them again. But Courage then proceeds to actually just snatch the necklace off of Eustace's neck and throws it into Clyde's mouth, which placates him, much to Eustace's chagrin, because he wanted the necklace and even calls Courage a stupid dog for doing that. But Clyde and his fog then proceeds to receive, with Eustace jumping off the roof after him. At which point, now that he and Muriel can actually see, Courage actually realizes that Muriel is about to walk off the roof, and uses his plunger gun to actually pull her to safety before she can actually fall off the roof and hit the ground. She actually does wind up falling off, but Courage winds up saving her with the plunger gun and pulling her to safety, and Muriel merely calls him a good boy for doing that, and proceeds to pull the plunger off her ass, corresponding that it's a little bit cheeky. At which point they proceed to go inside and snuggle on Muriel's rocking chair, and she proceeds to wonder where Eustace is. At which point we find out that Eustace is actually receded into the hole where Courage found the locket, and he's very deep down and can't get out. But he has the locket and remarks that he's now rich and is very happy about that. But then Clyde shows up, and for lack of a better word, he makes a sexual advance on Eustace. He flirts with him. I kid you not, that is how this episode ends. So, yeah, this episode is just interesting for a number of reasons. First and foremost, I've already discussed this in length, but this was an attempt to make it a revival that ultimately fell apart. And I do kind of like I do like how this is actually a rough pilot to the original series, much like how The Chicken from Outer Space was a rough pilot for Courage the Cowardly Dog. And I am interested to see where the CGI series would have gone had it actually been picked up by Cartoon Network, because this series has a bit of promise to it. I will be perfectly honest. This had a bit of promise to it. Obviously the Uncanny Valley elements are a little bit lost in this one, because obviously you can't make an Uncanny Valley CGI monster when everything is CGI. Everything is just Uncanny Valley at that point. But the pilot could have worked. I do like the idea of a CGI Courage, because the cartoon physics for this episode do work really well. And I do like the premise of them actually putting it in a 3D environment and actually having a fully animated series based out of that. I thought that could have been interesting, but Cartoon Network didn't agree with me. So yeah, this episode is just a fun what if. It's just a fun what if that could have happened, but didn't. Obviously, this is the first attempt that they've tried of actually trying to revive the series, so obviously, there's still very much more to go. And eventually, and yeah, there is still the movie, which could revive interest in Courage the Cowardly Dog, and it could cause Cartoon Network to get off their ass and actually finalize the steps to actually get before Courage or whatever else comes next to actually get finalized and actually get into production and start airing on Cartoon Network again, which I am very happy about if that is indeed the case. If the movie does indeed get enough people interested in Courage the Cowardly Dog again, that Warner Brothers actually decides to actually tell Cartoon Network to give them the go-ahead, then I am all for it. I am very much looking forward to that if that is indeed the case. But in any case, that is my review of The Fog of Courage and the kind of quote-unquote final episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog. What did you guys think? Let's get a discussion going in the comment section down below, or over on my Discord server, link in the description. Speaking of Discord, just go follow that in general, because we're doing the watch-along of the movie there. But, in any case, yeah, go check that out. Link is down in the description. And also, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, be sure to follow me on Twitter in the description below. Be sure to check out my Patreon in the description below as well. It's only a couple bucks a month. It does really help me out, and you guys get access to a bunch of cool perks, and I'm always saying thanks. So be sure to go check this out in the description below as well. And also be sure to check out my Twitch down in the description, because I stream every Sunday at 2:30 Eastern Standard Time, schedule permitting. Obviously not tomorrow because of obvious reasons, because we're doing the watch-a-thon tomorrow. So just go. But in any case, just follow me over there anyway, because I stream every Sunday, and I would very much like for you guys to be a part of that. And finally, if you want to see more content from me, then be sure to check out the videos linked in the end screen. The top video is the most recent one. May or may not be this one. Whereas the bottom video is the video recommended to you based on what you've already seen from me. So, if you want to try something new, or see more of what you like, then be sure to check both of those videos out. And also, be sure to check out my Discord, because again, we're doing the watch-along. If you guys want to absolutely see that, again, link is down in the description. Be sure to go check me out over there. Be sure to follow us over on Discord. And just be sure to be there, because we're going to be doing the watch-along over there. I will be reviewing it at the later point, but if you want to watch the movie with me live, then go check out the Discord. That is important. That is very much an important thing, and that is kind of the grand finale of Courage Month. So, of course, I want you to do that. But in any case, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace!